Okay, lekker. We are back in the game.
Yes.
It has been some time. I think the previous episode that was released 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
4 or 5
Definitely
weeks ago.
4 weeks.
So
No, it was 4 weeks.
It's been a difficult time. Let me just quickly update you. So, of course, student, exams. And that is what has happened. At the moment, what is currently happening is at this time of shooting, the night before, our president spoke and said, hey, we are going into a bit of a lockdown situation, okay? And that caused our exams to be postponed. Of course, suspended now and then just postponed until 2 weeks from this date. So we are now in a sort of recess, and we've decided, might as well shoot a quick podcast before you're going home.
Yes.
And of course, I won't be shooting with any guest at the moment because of the peculiar time we are in. Just for safety reasons and health reasons, it might not be the most clever decision to shoot with new people now, just to avoid that unnecessary risk and, obey our president.
Yeah, definitely.
That poor guy. I mean, I don't want to be in his
I'm just
shoes.
glad he found his iPad last night.
What a story. But then again,
What a story.
we on the actual news podcast, we are actually here to talk about cars, which is exciting. But welcome. This is episode 8 of season 3 of On the Overrun. All about cars and all about the people around them, all about sharing stories, all about immersing you into the world of cars and why it's so interesting and just creating appreciation. Some of you might be listening and be like, I know nothing about cars, like, what is a bucky,
but that's a beauty. You don't need to know anything. You can just enjoy the chat.
So we want you to come here, listen and be like, I understand a bit of this now. Oh, this is very cool. Oh, wow, look at how interesting this actually is. So just listen to two guys freak out about a passion of theirs. So as I said, welcome. And we've been going for 3 seasons. I think there's a bit over 40 episodes.
Yeah, I want to say now. It's
35, 40-ish. I'm not totally sure.
Going for the 50.
But please go watch. Previous episode was with Liberable, Niaz from Liberable, YouTuber. Very, very cool episode. Episode before that, I think was with Simon Lukov, who is a very, very good, extremely talented young photographer. Ian McLaren recently also, current still freelance journalist, worked for Car magazine for a long time also. So we've been shooting with some interesting people and I hope to continue doing that.
Yeah.
But today, so of course I'll split the video into time split so you can just listen to whatever interests you, I guess. But we'll chat a bit about the current state of F1, not too much though. Just a touch on it.
Yeah.
And then some new car news. Some in-depth discussion regarding certain brand strategies, and then some SUV chat because that's what it's in these days.
Yeah,
and then
it's raining outside, so
and it's raining.
SUV now.
I mean, because it's raining, you need an off-roader.
Yeah.
On the N1, and then we'll talk about some interesting. What do you call it? Yeah, some fun topics, just to
some brain teasers.
Tickle the brain. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. So. First off, F1 chat.
F1.
Quickly, just
some feedback.
What happened this weekend?
We've finished now around about 8-9 races.
Yeah.
And things are looking like interesting, eh? Max Verstappen leading by 18 points of Hamilton. And then in third place we have Perez currently. No.
Not Bottas.
Not Bottas.
Perez.
It's Perez or Norris, yeah.
I think Perez, Norris.
Yeah, Perez, Bottas. Norris, and then Bottas. So, it's looking quite interesting. Mercedes is a bit struggling. Usually they were quite good on all the tracks with their car. This year they're struggling.
Is it Mercedes who's struggling, or is it Red Bull who's picked up the slack? Because Styrian Grand Prix was this weekend. Red Bull really put in good times.
Yeah.
Like even Hamilton said, we just couldn't keep up with the pace.
No, that's very true.
So,
I think after that power unit swap before the French GP, I think things are looking very good. I know Toto Wolff said that Mercedes isn't doing any upgrades to their car for this year anymore, so they have to make do with what they have.
Yeah.
But it's looking quite interesting. I love the midfield battle going on currently. AlphaTauri in the mix there with a bit of Aston Martin, and then obviously McLaren and Ferrari going for the third place. So looking good, exciting. Also this week or last week, the first variant of the new F1 car for 2022 was released, and also looking very interesting compared to the current setup.
This is one of the bigger rims and
Yeah, bigger rims. It's a
The
bit
air intakes is a
shorter.
bit different.
Yeah, a bit shorter wheelbase.
Smaller wing.
So wing is smaller and also just one base at the back. So
Yeah.
it's looking very interesting.
Like
I think
one
next,
flat bar.
one flat bar. So it's looking quite interesting.
Okay.
So yeah, exciting times for F1. And also other motorsports are looking very exciting. The Women's Series started now as well again.
Like Formula One Women's Series.
Yeah, Formula 1 Women's Series. More like Formula 2, Formula 3 cars that they're driving.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's looking exciting for them as well. I know they have a second race as well coming up soon. So exciting,
That's happening.
yeah.
Yeah. With Formula One, I think it's, more interesting than it was the past couple of years. It's not just the Mercedes takes it all, takes the win. It's, oh, wow, one race, Verstappen wins, or Vettel, whoever, or Leclerc. Now it's very evenly matched, I feel.
Yeah.
Evenly matched in terms of your midfield is a lot more competitive between Renault, McLaren, even Aston Martin. Ferrari is midfield at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's always interesting race at the moment. And then the Red Bull Mercedes duel or battle that's going on. I think it's so cool and so good for F1 that it's not just Mercedes up top, that they are actually struggling, that Hamilton has, I feel someone has pierced the veil and like shown that he's not unstoppable. Mercedes are not unstoppable.
Yeah, definitely.
Mercedes has been going through some weird stuff. I, of course, haven't been religiously watching F1 like some people do, but read some news, saw that there was apparently some tyre strategy issues the previous race of the Styrian Grand Prix, but also not just the previous races before that.
Yeah, no, it's quite interesting.
I don't know, it's Mercedes. Yeah, I think there's a bit of they slacking at the moment.
At the moment, but I think one thing that's very exciting about this season is usually there's a lot of people watching F1 just to see what trouble there are, how many yellow flags, red flag stuff. But it's quite enjoyable racing. There's currently overtaking happening. You're not sure who's going to win, who's not going to win. It's very exciting in the sense of places being swapped. For instance, Perez going for pit stop with like 12 laps to go and then trying to catch up to Bottas, and then he just needed one more lap and he would have had Bottas. So it's very interesting, very exciting, and I'm looking forward to another. I think it's 12 races still left. I think it's 23 on the circuit
this year. Of which the next one is also
in Austria.
Red Bull? Yeah. Okay.
Red Bull Ring, and then we're going to Silverstone.
Lekker.
So
it's going well. I think it's much more enjoyable. A lot more people is watching F1 this season, I think, ever before. Also, as we mentioned earlier, Drive to Survive. That's just also, for some reason, people just love the drama behind it. I guess that's human.
Yeah.
In other news, in new car news, okay, we have the Valkyrie AMR Pro being released, well, today, I guess, as of the Monday, 28th June. I'll put some pictures up now. Looks unbelievably wild. So how this came to be, of course, you get the Valkyrie, which is 6.5 litre V12 naturally aspirated, most powerful naturally aspirated engine you can get. Cars was developed, revs to 11,000, which is heavenly for car sound. Of course, that car has also an electric motor, adding around about 100 to 200 horsepower or something. But now the AMR Pro is basically, it's a track toy. It's a bit of a Le Mans single
seater.
Yeah. So, well, is it single? No, I don't think it's single seater. I think it's also a two-seater.
It's a two-seater.
But anyway, all about lightness, all about getting the best track times. It doesn't have the electric motor, just the naturally aspirated engine. Looks insane, unbelievable. But I mean, what would you expect? It's basically like Ferrari's XX program, where like the FXXK or the FXX or the FXXK Evo, just basically this ultimate track toy. Now initially they planned to go Le Mans racing when the hypercar class that's now also being developed. But basically decided that's not the way they want to go. It's maybe a bit too elaborate for what they want to do or invest in at the moment. So this is just a track toy, 25 being made, probably all sold out. But very much awaiting the Valkyrie's deliveries, like customer deliveries, because that car, I saw a short clip of it like driving around the track, and I like the sound, it boggles my, and just the look of the car, like how is it even a car? going to wear number plates.
Yeah, no, it's a very cool car, cool car, and I think it's especially interesting regarding, as we can say, F1 Aston Martin also taking place now. I think there's going to be a very big shift of things between the F1 team and actually the production line, and I think there's a bright future for Aston Martin lying ahead currently. If you look at what they're currently doing, their styling is being much better currently than it was previous, I think 2018 to that era.
I think they are definitely on a growth stage because, I mean, not too long ago, they needed massive investment to continue being a company and make cars. So a bit of a financial issue. Also, just because the cars weren't selling that well. Now DBX came out, sells well, got new investors, of which Lawrence Stroll.
Yeah, Lawrence Stroll, obviously.
Yeah, so big financial push, which was needed. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to produce these cars. But yeah, very excited for the Valkyrie to... Yeah, well, I guess we won't see them on the road here in South Africa, but I mean, what a spectacle! Like, what a hypercar.
Yeah.
Also, let's mini hypercar news. So you know the SF90 Stradale from Ferrari recently came out, 3.9 twin turbo V8.
Amazing car.
2 or 3 electric motors? I think 3 electric motors, 1,000 horsepower, 800 Nm torque, 4-wheel drive. Basically a mini LaFerrari, but it can put the times up that the LaFerrari can do.
Yeah.
It's also, LaFerrari is also like a 7-year-old car now, which is very old.
Yeah, that's it. That's crazy to think, actually.
You wouldn't think it. And it's still so modern, actually.
Yeah, it means the P1 is also like, and the 980
P1,
Spider,
980, they are basically opas now.
Yes,
they are grandpas when it comes to the hypercar world. But now Ferrari has released a brand new... it's called the 296 GTB, so 2.9 V6, GTB being Grand Tourer Berlinetta. It is basically a mini SF90. So 2.9 V6, twin turbo, brand new engine. Basically, they call it a mini V12. But it's a totally new, from scratch development. Ooh, sorry. So 2.9 V6 twin turbo, and it has electric motor. And actually the engine revs to about 8.5. Like, that's big. That's quite a lot, especially for a V6 twin turbo. So the engine is looking very promising. I've heard the sound of this car on videos, and it actually sounds good. Almost better than the V8 for me, if you want.
Sure.
Like, that's weird. Thoughts on this car?
Sure. No,
Do you know anything about this car?
No, not really about this car specifically, but as you're saying, like 2.9
V6.
2.9 V6, like there must be some correlation between the racing team V6's hybrid era.
Yeah.
I think it's as the end of the hybrid era coming through, you can definitely see teams getting some of the leftover technology filtering through. So it's very exciting to see mini hypercars, as you could say, mini small hypercars coming on.
That's, it's interesting because usually you'd have your supercars and then, the LaFerrari and whatever came out, and there was this massive gap because, in euro terms or dollar terms, you had $300,000 cars and whatever, that's your average supercar, and then you have $1 million and up. That's your hypercars. But now you have your SF90 Stradale, you have something like your Senna, which fills that gap between 500 and $1 million. But now, the interesting thing about the 296 is the fact that it delivers about 840 horsepower and 740 Newton meters of torque.
Yeah.
Okay, and it weighs about 1,500-ish, which is not much, heavier than the F8 Tributo, the V8.
Yeah.
So now the question stands. You can either buy this 296 GTB and it's, fast enough for any of your needs. Don't tell me 840 is not fast enough. Or you can go for the stretch of the SF90. But the SF90 for for basically double the price, it gives you not much more speed and performance.
Yeah.
In fact, it's probably not as fun or handling, wise better because it's not rear-wheel drive like the 296. It's four-wheel drive. Only has 160 horsepower more. Only has 60 Newton meters torque more. I mean, is it really worth the stretch?
Yeah, does it quantify the
Like
extra amount
the
of money?
SF90 is insane in terms of what it delivers and the price, compared to other hypercars, which is over $1 million.
Yeah.
Now you get the 296, which is half the price for 80 to 90% of the performance. Shorter wheelbase than the F8 Tributo, which means better handling.
Yeah.
Interesting, it has about 100 horsepower more than the F8 Tributo. And now, I mean, what's the difference? You get 2 cylinders more. Sound is, the difference is negligible in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think this is a banger of a car. But it's a bit difficult for Ferrari to justify the SF90.
Yeah, I think they made it quite difficult for themselves now.
Because this car,
for sales,
in my eyes, is so good. What does this leave for other Ferraris?
Yeah. It makes it quite difficult, especially with the price bracket currently.
Yeah.
Yes, see. So how do you quantify
there's a lot in it.
Selling a SF90 to somebody? How do you tell them, like, yes, go for the SF90, not for this?
If they have to ask you, listen, 296, why should I go SF90?
Yeah, what's
I think the fact that they
on?
brought out the SF90 first is probably that's probably an advantage for them. If they had to bring out the SF90 after this car.
Yeah, no, that would kill the car.
Yeah. Also for you, what would you choose? The F8 Tributo with the 3.9 V8 Pista engine.
Yeah.
And not naturally aspirated, it's twin turbo.
Yeah.
But would you choose the normal mid-engine V8 or would you rather go for this, which is much more power, same price, if not a bit cheaper?
Yeah. Yes.
And new technology, like the F8 Tributo is very much at the end of the, like it's basically like a 488 plus plus. 458 plus plus. But this is something totally new. So
yeah, I think
what would you choose?
I would choose this the GTB. It's like,
I don't know. It's a bit of a no-brainer, to be honest.
Yeah, like it's new technology. You got the rear-wheel drive, which makes it much funner to play with.
Definitely.
It also has electric motors, eh?
Yeah, so it has one electric motor.
One electric motor to the rear wheels as well.
Yes, also.
So yeah,
it's the same kind of car. F8 Tributo 296 also rear-wheel drive. They probably will also have a convertible version coming out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think just seems like you're getting more.
I think the baseline would be to see how it sells actually. How the sales are gonna look, how the people are gonna perceive the differences.
I guess time will tell.
Yeah.
With this one.
Definitely.
So what we're actually trying to. So the next car we want to chat about, I just sort of want to intro this with why we're chatting about these cars specifically. Is that we had a chat earlier about off camera about brands and their strategies in terms of filtering down technology from newer cars, from older cars to newer cars. So, take McLaren, they had the P1 and then Senna.
Yeah.
So, not really hyper technology, but, some technology, and some mechanics was filtered down, some expertise. Ferrari, SF90.
Yeah.
Okay, and now you have SF90 296, which they definitely took a lot of inspiration from out of the SF90. Take the new C-Class, okay? Mark 5 C-Class, of course, only the base models is out now, but what we know is that the C63 will have a 2-liter, which a lot of people are not happy about, which I can understand. I mean, AMG without a V8, that's a bit weird. All of them are 48-volt mild hybrid systems that start to generate a motor. Interesting about this Mark 5 C-Class, optional 4-wheel drive on most models, similar to what the new 3 Series will get.
Yeah.
But what is your opinion, or rather just your perspective or view on brands filtering down this technology from basically taking the older, more expensive car, usually, like
the more expensive one,
the more expensive model, and then just filtering down? Do you think this works for do you think this works? What do you think? If it is, is it better for the guy buying the C-Class, or is it better for the guy buying the S-Class because the technology is filtered down? does it sort of take away from the S-Class?
Yeah.
What do you think about the strategy that brands use?
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely a strategy that's working.
Yeah.
Companies have been doing this for quite a while, using the more expensive, pinnacle car and then filtering down to lower generations. I think it does help also with sales, definitely. I think for a company at the end of the day, sales is the figure that matters. And it can be said that for the guy that's able to buy the S-Class, for instance, it's for him nice because the technology that he has in his car when he buys that car new is only in that car available. But it's nice also for the guy that only can buy the C-Class. Like when he gets the C-Class, he knows like, okay, this is trial and tested.
Solid technology
that he has in his car now. So his car will go for another 10 years. So I think also if you buy an S-Class, your turnover is going to be every second year, maybe, for a new car. So I don't think they're too much stressed. But obviously, it does degrade the value of the upper class, the S-Class, for instance. At the end of the day, once the C-Class has the same technology, then the S-Class would become very cheaper. So I think it's a strategy that's working. I think it gives everybody the opportunity to have quality technology within their car. Everybody can feel like they have something that works for them. And if it works, it works.
I guess the question is, would it be better going for a top-down strategy or like a down-up, like bottom-up? You know what I mean? In the sense of when you go top-down, you work from the S-Class, put all the bells and whistles, do all the R&D because you have a price to match that, effort put in.
Yeah.
And then you just filter down or take away. You're like, okay, S-Class, we have to make E-Class. Okay, take away this, change this, do this. And it works its way down to the C-Class. Even some of those technology go down to the new A-Class or whatever, So I guess what's better? Is it working up from the C to the S or S to the C?
So that's the very big question, is what's better, top down or bottom up?
I guess top down.
I guess also top down.
I think it's easier for brands, but it's also, I think it's good what you said, like you getting the C-Class knows test the technology, but you getting the S-Class means I get the best. Like
I get the best at the current state of time. So there's definitely also brands that are doing it from the bottom up.
How does BMW do it? Usually the newest car is the 3 Series.
Yeah.
They had like an updated 5 Series before that, and then the 7 Series updated before. So I think BMW does it the other way around.
I also reckon that because they usually didn't they release the M3 before the M4?
They had take M3 and M4 is basically the same car, but take the 3 Series, the 5 Series, and the 7.
Yeah.
The 3 Series was the most recent one. Then they had an update of the 5 just before that, and the update of the 7 just before that, if I'm right. Oh no, wait. That means they do it the same. That's also top down then.
Yeah, you're working in reverse now.
Yeah, I'm working in reverse. My math isn't very well. But I think that's just for brands in terms of, I guess, R&D costs. That's probably best.
Definitely, yeah.
But also in terms of the consumer, like also if your C-Class looks a bit like the S-Class, you don't mind that. Like. People are like, oh, is this the new? Like, no, it's just the C-Class, but still.
Yeah.
If you have resemblances to your bigger brother, you like that as the younger brother, I guess. And it's not taking away anything from the S-Class. I know he's, taking Mercedes specifically, but, for this example. But also, when you sit in an S-Class and you're like, or let's say you sit in an E-Class, right? In between, you're like, why should I buy S-Class? And you go sit in the S-Class, it's still a different beast. It's still a different car.
Yeah.
There's a lot more bells and whistles. There's a lot more creature comforts. So, it's probably best that they do it this way.
Yeah.
Same with Formula One. I guess Ferrari takes a lot of inspiration, technology. Mercedes take a lot of inspiration, technology from Formula One filter down, because that's where the most development is done and research. That's where the most cars go in.
No, definitely.
So,
but quite interesting is to see what type of technology Honda will take from their engines in F1 to the VTECs and stuff, the Civics,
because they don't really have a hypercar sitting below F1. They have the Civic Type R. That's their or Renault even.
Yeah.
Like Renault have their own Formula One team and technology and
which is LP now, eh?
Valid, okay, but
they have
also
the A110,
Valid has the A110
is a sports
and you have the
car.
Megane RS, that's quicker than the A110.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a bit of an interesting situation. Next chat, SUVs. It's raining. We need an off-roader. Okay, we're looking at a hill now. I'm just seeing some, I don't know, Defender skidding off. Anyway, just quickly, I saw the X5 coming in 2022. Well, there is a hydrogen X5 coming in 2022. Interesting. They say it takes about 4 minutes to fill, and you actually get quite a few 100 kilometers out of one full tank, and it's sustainable in the lot.
Yeah.
It's just where on this earth do you find hydrogen infrastructure, refilling infrastructure? I don't know of any public one for use.
No,
definitely not in South Africa.
No, not in South Africa. But there isn't even a electrical grid for us to use, like Teslas and stuff.
Yeah, we can't even have electrical cars. I mean, what do you
reckon on hydrogen
hydrogen
cars?
X5. I mean, where are you going to use that? Probably just in Germany.
But hydrogen technology is quite cool. Do
you know anything about it?
Yeah, so hydrogen technology is actually something that has been looked into for future energy sources. Renewable energies is definitely the forefront currently. That's the main goal for each country all over the world. So hydrogen is very cool. It is actually relatively easy to produce. That's the biggest issue is due to infrastructure, as you said. There's no infrastructure. Well, for gasoline, as the Americans say, or petrol, is much easier to come by. So
it's cheaper, probably. Well, I guess hydrogen is also quite a.
Yeah, it's not that expensive.
Apparently, the problem is just extracting hydrogen from water.
Yeah, from water.
XC90, the flagship Volvo SUV, is now the next one will be fully electric, being the first Volvo. Non-Polestar Volvo bringing out a fully electric car.
So is that going to be the first full electric one since they said
Volvo,
since they said the ICE is done?
Yes.
Sure.
And I'm fine with that, to be honest. I think with the current engines they have being the 2-liter twin-charged engines, I mean, Volvo's current engines isn't, you aren't attracted to Volvos because of the characteristic of the engines.
No, that's not your attraction. Safety.
So going electric is fine.
Yeah, no, I reckon it's fun. So as long as the safety standards are there,
which there will be,
it would definitely be
and
there.
Technology
will be there.
Comfort.
I just think one thing is going to see is how far you're going to be able to drive with your
range.
What's your range?
I mean, that's every electric car issue.
Yeah.
So I think the XC90 will definitely be better suited for South Africa. Just a bit about the new XC90. Well, there's not a lot of information being released. But this thing is basically a full-on robot. It can do everything for you, like autonomous driving.
Sure.
It has new technology that they use for cameras and augmented reality, and I guess that's just Sweden for
all
you.
The bells
I
and
guess that is just how European cars are these days. They are so advanced; they can do everything for you. Yeah, I guess driving is just not a thing for people who buy XC90s. But anyway, I love the current one.
Yeah.
But onto an interesting discussion, just meandering off this road, is, us as South Africans, we love caravans, okay?
Yeah, we love
caravans. I don't know if you like, I like a caravan. Okay.
Yeah, certain camping. I say South Africa is more camping.
Yeah.
And caravanning is part of camping.
Caravanning is, just a sidetrack off
I think camping and then caravanning.
We like going off-road, but one of the roads is caravan. Okay?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
definitely.
Overall, we are caravan or camping kind of people. Yeah. We are excited about the idea
going to the Bosveld.
Of going to the bush. Going to Braai for 15 days in a row or 50, choose a number, to
Depending
go
on
bright.
how long your lockdown is. So.
Yeah, just don't have electricity. Actually, well, we do like electricity, but we just don't have it a lot. Going under the stars, going to the beach, we like that idea, that adventurous, wild kind of typical Subaru advertisement kind of holidays.
Yeah.
Okay. So we chatted a bit about absurd cars that you can get tow bars on, that you can actually pull a caravan on.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, okay, this was in high school, 5-6 years ago, and it sounds a bit stupid, but I wanted to be that guy, takes his Rolls Royce Ghost and plugs a tow bar on and pulls caravan just because he can. And that'll probably be one of the most comfortable rides pulling caravan ever.
Yeah, well, you're going to go off-road with it.
No, probably not. Well, I mean, all-terrain tires. I guess you can do what you want if you have a Rolls Royce. But anyway, so I love the idea of stupid cars caravanning. Like, it just doesn't fit, and that's what makes it cool. So we decided, hey, might as well chat about what we would prefer taking a caravan on if we were going super absurd.
Yeah, super absurd.
So tell me.
Must I tell you what mine is?
What were you thinking?
I was thinking of a Bentley Continental GT.
Oh my, can you even have a tow bar?
Yes,
you can. On a Continental?
On a
not a Bentayga?
Continental
Is it an option
GT?
on a Continental?
It's an option.
You lie.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, this is probably an optional extra. This is not something you get standard.
No, it's optional extra, obviously.
Do you know how much it costs?
No, I've no idea.
I actually really want to find out. So you said, okay, Bentley Continental, but V8 or V12?
No, V8.
V8?
I'll go for the V8, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'll go for the V8. I don't need to pull a caravan with it.
Okay, so if you were to... Why the Continental GT? Why not something like an SUV?
So I recently
Do you want to go off-road with the Continental GT?
But I recently watched the new Grand Tour episode in Madagascar. And then Ojeza, Jeremy Clarkson, had the Continental GT painted in green and stuff, crazy. And I just think like this is something absurd with quite a lot of power, 4-wheel drive, obviously.
Yeah.
So it will definitely be able to...
But remember, you took the old one and you had to rebuild.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go off-roading. What do you see? What now?
I'm looking for prices, but I don't see...
You don't see prices?
Bentley Continental GT, tow bar, price. I'm not sure if I am seeing anything. Can you put a tow bar on a Bentley? Can be added to a Bentayga? Is a Bentley Continental GT... Can a Bentley... I don't know. I'll show you it's an option. Because it doesn't seem like the internet.
If it doesn't have an option, then
you'll just put one on.
No, I'll just put one on, yeah.
Okay. No, I love the idea of taking a Bentley Continental off-roading or just pulling caravan.
I can put a tow bar on my Polo, so...
I mean, that's understandable. But on a luxury car, that's a bit of a different situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, the car I've chosen, I've told this to you, Mercedes AMG GLE 63S. Okay. Now this is an SUV. The normal GLE, of course, you can pull a caravan with normal GLE.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can fit it on AMG, on a 4-liter V8 twin turbo, 612 horsepower, maniac of a car.
Yeah.
That really excites me.
No, that's cool.
I mean,
just make sure nobody's in the caravan while you're pulling, eh?
And just make sure nobody else is in the car, because the petrol, I don't know, there's the absurd amount of money you're going to have to pay just to keep that car on the road in terms of petrol. I mean, I don't want to know, but I guess when you can afford that car, that's not really
something
problem, you take into consideration, how much it costs to run. But anyway, so I think I'd love to take that car just because of why not?
Why not, yo?
You can put a turbo on, so be it. Otherwise, I'd take something like a very sensible option. Would be a normal GLE, because that's good enough. But no, this actually started, like, when my dad, you worked at Mercedes, that was one of his favorite cars, was the normal ML, which turned into the GLE. Just because of the comfort, I guess. But taking a 63, I mean, that's just cool. Or
Yeah.
like a G-Wagon, G63. That's same kind of excitement, I guess.
No, definitely. Nobody will think you're gonna have a caravan with that, but
Yeah.
I think it's a spectacle to see on the road. Eh?
But onto our last interesting chat. So we also were thinking about, okay, what if we had the opportunity to have a project car? Now, I'm not very handy. I won't be rebuilding my project car. I'd be choosing options and stuff I want to put on and let other people do it. But I think it would be very cool to have a project car.
Definitely.
To have the time. Even if I just put a sticker on it and say I modified it in some way, I think that's satisfactory for me.
Definitely.
But I think that's any car guy's dream, to have a project or something not too expensive, something that you can do a lot of things with, swap the engine, I don't know, rebuild to make it a rally car or whatever. That's just very exciting to make it fit to how you want it. Yeah, I guess you need some time and some lot of money.
Yeah, some money.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can buy a very cheap one and limit yourself to only 100,000 rand and then just
See what you can
Gooi.
achieve with that.
I mean, yeah, buy yourself a cheap Nissan 200 SX or like a Honda Ballade or something. Like an old Civic or,
Yeah,
I don't know,
and
old
just see what
Mercedes
you
and
can
just do like, I don't know, cut the exhaust off and bore it out so that it's bigger, put a turbo on, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things you can do. So what were you thinking? What would be your ideal project car? Why? And what would you do to it?
Why and what would I do? Yeah, there's so many options, as you stated. It's like drifter. You can make a drifter for yourself, rally car.
Yeah.
You can just make a pretty thing that you can drive around town. Eh?
You can even make an odd piece, take out the engine.
Yeah.
Make an odd piece out of the engine. Make a coffee machine out of the engine.
Make a coffee table out of the engine.
Make a coffee table out of the engine.
I like Top Gear.
Make a couch out of the seats.
Yeah.
Make a, I don't know, odd piece out of the body shell. But no, we want to drive our
We want
project
to
car.
drive them. Yeah, like there's so many options. Wide variety. I was thinking about maybe getting like an old Hilux, like 1981 Hilux, just making it stock standard again. Something to drive around in town.
Oh,
And
something
then-
like actually pristine in condition.
Yeah, pristine condition.
Something, as it came out of the box.
Definitely.
That would also be cool,
But
restoring
then I was like, let's go a bit wild.
it.
So I was thinking, taking a Beetle
Okay.
and then like reworking the whole situation.
Okay.
Like new suspension. Not gonna struggle with the pan at the bottom.
Yeah.
Take out the engine, put an engine in front,
Oh.
make the boot at the back.
Okay.
Maybe some other tires, such make the thing a bit more of a rally type vibe.
Okay, that was what I wanted to ask. Do you
Yeah.
want to make it like a street attack racer vibes, or do you want to make it a rally,
bit more rallying thing. So yeah, so thinking about that.
like a typical buggy?
Yeah, this is a typical buggy. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Make it enjoyable. Not too much, not too powerful engine. Just make it enjoyable. You can go for like a roundabout drive. Yeah.
Have you seen the Cayman on the chassis bodied Beetle rebuild?
No, I haven't
So
seen that yet.
they basically took the base of an old Cayman,
Yeah.
same 18-inch wheels. 18-inch wheels, but new 18. Oh, I'm a word. New 18-inch wheels, and then so of course a lengthened body, much lower.
Sure.
And I think they put a flat six in it too, but all these flat six. But anyway,
Yeah.
very cool. Inside, like brand new leather seats, manual gearbox.
Yeah.
In front, it looks so sinister. I think they call it like the Outlaw or something. It looks very cool.
Oh, that's it.
And it's like, I think Cayman underpinnings, and it has like this faded grey, like almost non-painted.
Sure.
Like this thing stood in the wild for a bit. It just looks menacing. So it's really, really cool. I don't think it's that much of an expensive build. Like, I mean, like take something like a Liberty Walk kit on any car.
Yeah.
That's very expensive with the engine modifications and the exhaust.
Yeah.
So I think that's not too much. I mean, I guess old Caymans aren't that hard to get.
Yeah, I don't reckon that.
I mean,
too difficult.
certain project cars just aren't that expensive if you choose to swap it with the right engine or
Yeah.
like exhaust parts or whatever. So I guess project car you can do anything with.
Yeah. And you? What have you decided
So okay,
to do?
so first I got a like backstory. So one of my favorite cars is the Mercedes 190e Evo 2.
Yeah.
Do you know how that looks? Old boxy Mercedes,
Oh, okay,
low, like widened fenders and arches, has that blockish wing at the back.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm now with you now, yeah.
2.5 liter 16 valve Cosworth built engine. Okay,
Yeah.
you also got the 2.3. So that car is based, of course, the 190e. Okay, which is the normal, like call it the oldish E class or C class.
Yeah.
You also had a 500e. So 500e, which is a totally different beast. That's a 5 liter V8 overhead cam
Yeah.
built by Porsche. Sort of a tribute of all Porsche, Mercedes, you know, they both worked on it. Totally over-engineered, same as the 190 actually. That's just old Mercedes, like they were totally over-engineered cars. The suspension was way better. Interior quality was amazing, just for the average cars that they were, well, calling it average for the 190, but the 500 anyway, very special car. That was like the first sporty sedan,
Sure.
I guess. 5 liter V8 as I said. It's a bit of a classic, so it's very hard to come by. And you also don't really want to make a project car of that,
something
like a
that,
classic. So I was thinking, okay, take a 190e or a W201.
Yeah.
That's the code number. Take a 190e, normal plain one. Okay. Strip the body, paint it totally black, gloss black. Put a 5.5 liter V8 of the newer Mercedes engines in. So no carburetor, no overhead cam, whatever. Put one of the, I think somewhere between 2000 and 2010, 5.5 natural aspirated V8 engine in, similar to what the SLK 55 had. And then make it lower, put an Evo wing on it. So make it like a V8 Evo vibes. That's what I want to do. So interior, pristine, leather, but I want to have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto.
Yeah.
I want to have like a, you know, I want to have that classic look, but still the creature comforts, like nice speakers.
Yeah.
And like aircon that works. So I still want to drive that
aircon
around.
that works. That's
aircon
probably
that works.
something that never works in an old car.
Yeah.
The aircon.
I mean, listen, they were so over-engineered and well-built that I wouldn't be surprised if that aircons of those generation cars still work.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So Evo 2, if I ever had an opportunity, I'd just put it in the garage and drive it now and then. Same with the 500e. It's such a special car. So I was thinking, no, take a 190e, similar vibe look, plug a 5 liter, a 5.5 in, and just gooi. I was thinking maybe even Lexus V8 because that's
it's very
easy to get. But I don't know how I feel about putting a Lexus V8 into
a Mercedes,
especially an old one.
Well, especially like Mercedes is one of the top dogs in V8s.
So why
do you go to a Japanese counterpart?
Yeah, if I can get a 6.2, even better. But I doubt it will fit.
Yeah,
I think that's also an option. Anyway, just love old Mercedes. Otherwise, I don't know. I like the idea of taking an old Porsche also. But I mean, that's what Singer does. I feel that's also a bit too you could probably make it a project car. Take like a 944, a 928, or some kind of obscure or some Porsche that no one really likes, like some of the front engine models, and just. Or take like a first gen Cayenne.
Ooh, yeah.
Safari. Or rally. Or like go do like, what was that show they had? Voetsporen.
Well,
you basically travel Africa.
Just travel Africa with your
I think,
revamped
but
Cayenne.
I'm not like my hands on like fit for building cars and fixing stuff. Like I don't know anything about rebuilding engines or fixing I've changed the oil in the car, but that's about that. So if that Porsche in any way breaks, I have no flipping clue. So I need someone to go with. So you're welcome to come with.
I'm going to come with a Beetle.
Yeah, well, the Safari Beetle.
Safari Beetle.
Yeah. So, but I guess on the other side, just off the top of your head, of course, this is project car, but Restomods, of course, Singer, I love Singer. That's what I want to do. What do you see yourself investing in terms of Restomods?
True.
Because you get E-types. You get old Ferrari Restomods.
Yeah,
I guess
it's
you get any
difficult,
Restomod, so anything on your mind?
Yeah, like Singer, obviously, I think Singer is currently the pinnacle to reach for all racer mods. Like the type of things that they do is absolutely amazing with the technology that they fit with uh, the old vehicles. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm leaning quite towards a Singer.
yeah.
I can't see anything else than
Because
a
Restomods
Singer.
are massive these days. I mean, take the Volvo P1800, the Cyan. I think it's like their racing team. They also
Yeah.
rebuild it now. You get the E-Type rebuilds, which I can't remember. I think it's Eagle they call it.
Oh yeah, Eagle, yeah.
You get the Ferrari, which they do like 250 GT, 250 GTO, 250 short wheelbase rebuilds, which are also insane. Lancia, the Delta Integrale,
Oh yeah.
or the Stratos rebuilds, like the Restomods. I mean, you get anything and everything, really. I think that's quite a cool idea, and I can see why there's so much fame and there's so much like popularity around it, because a lot of guys with the money also are like me, like don't really know how to rebuild cars, don't really know how to like I have a vision or idea, but I necessarily can't put it into work on myself, so why not let the experts do it? I mean, definitely. I think they also can put a hefty price on it just because of the sentimental value too.
Yeah, that you fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's very cool. I quite like it and enjoy it that Restomods is so big. It keeps the whole history of cars alive. Definitely with...
I think your icons, yeah, that's so true.
With icons, yeah.
Like your icons, the rebuilds, especially the cars that were, maybe famous in your dad's day or whatever, 20, 30 years ago. I mean, definitely. what would be the Restomods of 20 years from now?
Yeah.
It's a bit weird to think about it, because it doesn't think, like, in my head, I don't see a car now that, well, I guess it's something like a SLS.
Yeah, I was reckon something like that, maybe.
I don't know. I think it's just because the fact that our cars these days are so, like, modern cars are so electronically or technologically advanced.
Yeah.
That it's a bit difficult to see how you can Restomod it, because it's like Restomod is just making it modern and like fit to the times with the necessary technology. But I mean, yeah.
No, we'll see.
Cars in 20, 30 years time, will there be even such thing? Like, will you even call it a car? Will you drive your car? Will it all just be electric?
Will there be internal combustion?
No. I think the idea with cars is a lot less people drive it and a lot more people just use it for utility. Why drive your car when you can sit in one, work, and like be productive?
Yeah.
Or, I guess that's the way it's going. Autonomous and electric.
But we'll see. I reckon the car culture within the world is quite big. And there will always be those guys.
Yeah. You have enough people fanatic about cars.
There's enough people fanatic about cars. Yeah. Even if it's just for the sound, Yeah. So, I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Do you think, so just to end it off, don't want this to be too much of an emotional conversation about the future of cars. But, okay, let's say, of course, a lot of brands going full on no internal combustion within, 2030, 2035-ish.
Yeah.
Where do you think petrol cars will fit in? Where do you think internal combustion cars will fit in? Will this just be collectors' cars? Will you be allowed to drive internal combustion cars? Will there be massive taxes on it?
Yeah. There's a lot.
Do you think only the special one, like, I don't know.
There's a lot of open-endedness towards what's going to happen with internal combustions. And I reckon definitely within the world there's so much countries that aren't able to have all electric vehicles. Like their grids just can't keep having it. So I reckon what will happen is most car companies will probably go all electric, but they'll still have the internal combustion modes for mods for other countries. For instance, for like us or the rest of Africa. Can you see yourself driving from here all the way to Egypt with an all-electric car. Like,
Well, I mean, that just, I guess that's on Africa to get the infrastructure.
it is, but like, we'll just have to wait and see. I reckon. I don't think the internal combustion is gonna die out like totally.
Yeah, like
I can't see with, you know, F1 and so on, it dying out quickly.
Yeah. But it's also,
and it's, as I said, very open-ended. Like, anything can happen in the next 5 years.
like even 5 years from now, with, you know, the current growth of car manufacturers and growth of technology, the technological industry,
Yeah.
and just the development, you can't even see 5 years from now. Like,
No.
it's very, very difficult to create a vision for that, and that's what brands have to do now. Actually,
Yeah.
they have to set out a 10-year plan, saying, what are we, like, even though they aren't correct, they have to decide, where do we want to end up?
Yeah.
And where do we see cars going? So it's a difficult one, but you know, for the love of cars, I really hope people still gather around it and
Yeah,
appreciate it, and
definitely.
that it'll live long on, so that we can continue to have that appreciation and mutual interest.
Yeah.
It's boring if all the cars are just have, you know, modular design, same engine, pick your blocks or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll have to see. Nico, thanks. Thanks for
lekker.
joining today again. When the next episode will be, we don't know.
Yeah.
As I said, it's a bit of an interesting time for us. Our hands are a bit tired. No, our hands are tied.
Yeah,
okay?
no,
we
fully
can't
tied.
do a
We
lot.
can't
We
do
are fully
anything.
tied. We can't do anything.
Nothing.
So we have to see how it turns out, but we'll make the best of the situation. Continue loving cars. Continue loving people.
And thanks for signing in, and keep on watching other episodes as well.
Yeah,
If
please
you're
go
feeling
back and like reminisce on
Yeah.
what was.
Feeling nostalgic, go watch episode 1.
Yeah, if we were a bit too somber or mellow or mundane, I apologize.
Yeah.
I mean, before we started, I just told him I literally can't know. Like, I can't remember how to shoot a podcast, so this is
Yeah.
totally new. Feels like I'm totally new in it. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Yeah,
Thanks
lekker.
for joining. As you said, go back, go watch some other videos. Follow us on the gram and on the TikTok. I also have some videos there. But anyway, without further ado, continue loving cars, because it's
It's much better than drugs.
It's much better than drugs. So, okay.
Lekker.
Cheers. Bye.